Thank you for watching Lira Scoop. We are glad you are here.
My name is Joel Okautema. I have, may they know you? May they know you?
Oh, morning, pressmen and ladies. My name is Patrick Okwib Jaramogi.
Thank you so much. My name is Jimmy Awan Chingmalo, member of Uganda People's Congress, but as well as a candidate for Member of Parliament, Lira City West.
This morning we called you here for a brief press conference on a couple of developments that we think warrant responses from us. And they are issues that are of concern to us because they can bring confusion and create even more confusion, not only in Uganda People's Congress, but also across Lango. As we head into elections, we want to leave nothing unanswered in as far as they can affect the focus of Lango on the important things that matter for our future. So I'm going to invite Jaramogi to go first.
Elections are a concern. The future of Lango is concerned, and our destiny as a people. As you are aware, I sympathize with the party of UPC. That means I strongly believe in some of their ideological thinking. You are aware a few weeks ago we were here trying to determine the future of our people as we participate in the forthcoming elections. How do the people of Lango participate in these votes, in these campaigns, and these elections? And as members of UPC, we are very particular because our leaders in UPC, those who carry the flag of UPC, and those who put on the red dressing of UPC, who are supposed to be leaders, who are supposed to help people determine the direction they want to be, who should champion the direction of the people of Lango, because leadership is the most important thing. Our issue here is the elections of President Museveni as an elder statesman, and the conduct of our sister, Honorable Betty Amongi, who unfortunately wants to be very cagey. And our caginess is confusing the people of Lango, confusing the family of Dr. Obote as the president, and to us as members of the party, and also the people of Lango here who matter. We cannot observe, we cannot sit and watch. Previously, our brother had informed the people of Lango and those who support him to come on the 15th and write his name on the ballot paper, even when he's not nominated. And his clear information was that he was coming to give a direction to UPC members and people who support him on who they can vote on the 13th. But silent information which is going on. Honorable Betty Amongi is now trapped. She does not now know the direction to which she can take. She wants to come out boldly and begin campaigning for President Museveni, but she's also fearing members of UPC. That she has confused for so long. We want to be very clear here. that the people of Lango have no hatred for President Museveni. They may have ideological differences, but as members of UPC will matter, we are coming out to tell them, please don't waste time on somebody who wants to play the game. Vote President Museveni. Number two, Minister Amongi is not a candidate to be voted in this election. She's not. She has openly confused the people of Lango. She's now confusing the house of Obote. You people in the press have heard. She has come out clearly to abuse, to disregard the First Lady, Mama Maria. That Mama Maria is not pushing forward the legacy of Obote. What does that mean? She's disregarding the First Lady, she's disregarding Mama Maria. Who is she? And our confusion is not stopping there. This is the confusion which is confusing Akena, that people in Lango here now do not understand what Akena stands for. So as the people of Lango and members of UPC, we are not going to mince word here. In my previous press conference with you, I made it very bold and strong that nobody from that house has the audacity to abuse Obote in his resting place, to abuse that family. That is our family. Obote carries all our voices. And this is no surprise. In the previous monitor paper, the family of Obote, the sons, including the heir, are saying they do not want this woman in their house. What does that mean? So are people from outside there. Please listen, have the brain to think. The Bible talks about Delilah, the Bible talks about Samson. We do not want somebody to confuse Akena. So as UPC, this is our position, that Honorable Beta Amongi should not confuse the family of Obote, should not confuse members of UPC. She's already calling a silent meeting to tell our structures to go and campaign for Museveni. But she's not coming out to do that. Why shouldn't she come out? So as members of UPC, let her come out bold. But I think she has nowhere to go. She's already trapped, and she's trapped in her own game. You see, they say you can fool people for some time, but you cannot fool them all the time.
My name is Jimmy Awanchingmalo. As I earlier on stated here, I am a candidate for Lira City West, for Member of Parliament. But I am thankful for this press briefing this morning. I want to thank so much my other two colleagues, Honorable Joel and Honorable Jaramogi, for the words that I've mentioned here. I want to be straightforward here. First and foremost, I want to applaud my chairperson of Uganda People's Congress. This is Mzee Simon Opiyo Kaha and their team for the statements and resolutions they made, I think some few days ago. And here their statement was bold enough that UPC in Lira City, and in this case UPC in Lao, must and will support His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. This statement is not only coming from me, but is coming from a very respectful person, the personality of an elder who has been in the UPC politics since 1962, Honorable Mzee Simon Opiyo Kaha. It was a very clear and bold statement, very objective, that all of our members of Uganda People's Congress should vote and support His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Now, there is a statement that was uttered in yesterday in a radio talk show, I think. That was Radio Voice of Lao by Honorable Jimmy James, Michael Akenobore. that for him he's still standing firm on his earlier statements, and we know very well that his earlier statements were that any vote from Lao should go to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. That was his first statement. The second statement was that people should go and write his name as Jim McKenna on the ballot, and we go and vote as Jim McKenna. We know very well the procedures in the electoral laws. Once you are not in the ballot paper and you go and do anything in the ballot paper that is contrary to the procedures in the ballot, in the ballot procedures, that means we shall go for what we are calling the invalid votes. So as now, how shall the entire world look at us? We are voting for invalid votes. How shall we present ourselves to the rest of the country? How shall we request the next government that come and support Lao when we have wasted our votes? I am here to appeal to every Lao who is listening. We must not be held hostage by some people. For sure, this is an election that will decide the future of this country. Museveni is aging up, and that is a fact. So if Museveni is aging up, who takes over from Museveni after this election? For us in Lao, we are still firm. For us in Lao, we are familiar with him. We know we are all going to mobilize. We are all going to support. We mobilize in big numbers and support the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. It is time that Lao should desist from fallacies now. We have been caged for so long with our brothers from UPC. I'm a member of UPC since 1962. In 1985, when our government was overthrown by General Tito Okello Lutwa, they took over and stayed in power for 6 months. Later on, it was General Museveni who took over from Tito Okello. What happened? They told our people, you know what? Do not change the money. We are given time frame. Go and change the currencies. But our people have now desisted from that. They were fooled. They told us, do not do that, because this government of President Museveni will not last.
Who told you?
This is our UPC team. It won't last. It will be for 2 months, 3 months, then we are coming to overthrow the government. But what happened? Our people did not change their currency, and our money got rotten here in Lao. From that time, we have been living under fallacies. And we are saying enough is enough. Voting the President Museveni in power does not mean we are going to change from UPC to NRM. But we have got our constitutional rights as the citizens of the country to go and do exactly what the law wants of us. On issues of Honorable Betty Amongi, I never wanted to come straight on this, but I think I must openly say this. All the confusion, as he has put it, in UPC is brought about by Honorable Betty Amongi. In 2014, a team from Uganda People's Congress, including my party president, Honorable Jimmy James Akenabore, they went and sat before the president, including Maxwell Akora, including Honorable Betty, including those of Ebele Bill, the party secretary general. They went and had a verbal agreement. It wasn't a written one, a verbal agreement on how the marriage between UPC and NRM would proceed. The agreement and the arrangement that did not see some of our children go under State House scholarship. The agreement that did not see some of our learned colleagues and comrades go to get jobs, only to see that ministers were being given in exchange of that agreement. And in this case, Honorable Betty Amongi was given a ministerial position of which she holds up until today. So it shouldn't be about benefiting a few families. It should be about the entire land. Our future must not only be within the hands of the few. As youth, as leaders, such as Opio Kaha, the chairman, whose eyes has opened now. Because when I came out openly some times ago, people thought maybe Chingmala was joking. But I told them, there will come a time that statement will be changing here and there. And indeed, it is changing. I told them about the snake in the house of Obote, being Honorable Beta Moe. And people thought I was joking. On the 31st, I read over the monitor about the same snake. That now the insiders of the Obote's family are now saying it is true, there is a snake in what? In Obote's house. So what must we do as UPC? We have still got a chance. And this chance is that Honorable Jimmy must desist from his vague utterances over media. My brother, Honorable Jimmy, you know me very well. It is me talking to you. Very unfortunate that you don't even now pick my calls. But I want to request that, please, my brother, desist from all this. Recently, you went and met with the General Salim Saleh, of which your meeting, you were actually interviewed over the radio. And you said openly that, yes, the meeting was there. So what happened? Double standard. You hear that today Jimmy is meeting Salim Saleh. Few days later, he's out again making a different statement. What is it all about? Is it a deal gone wrong? Or what is it? Is that meeting beneficial to the entire membership of UPC and now? Or is it for the few? So I'm saying, let us stop issues of double standard. If you are a member of UPC, stick to our normal rules, norms, and procedures. And in this case, I must make it very clear that Article 14, Clause 3 of Uganda People's Congress Constitution did not allow my president to contest. It wasn't President Yoweri Museveni that stopped him, but the Constitution. I remember some of you hosted me on radio, and I talked about it. The Constitution of UPC. I remember that was on the 26th of, I think which month, I will get and let you know, that my president called for a conference, I mean the press conference. My president called for a delegate conference, and of which that delegate conference was now marred by issues of court cases, Adiminap, those of Adiminap were now trying to bring issues here and there. That stopped him. We still want to see him as a member and the president of Uganda People's Congress. So how do we bring him back on board? These utterances won't help. We are left with about 10 days to the national election. I have always told the people this statement. I want to make it clear. I am not dying to become a member of parliament, but rather I am dying to tell now the truth. And the truth is that we are not yet ready for any other person rather than President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. How do you vote for Bobi Wine? For sure. How do you vote for somebody called Manangwagwa? I do not know all of them. Let's have President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. I request every member of Lango community, it is now our time. Rise up, mobilize, unite, go and vote on the 15th. Go and vote for your preferred candidate in the parliamentary elections. Go and vote. We are advising you to go and vote for President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. If our brother thinks it is okay with him, he should not work in isolation. Let him come back to the team, reorganize his house. 2031 is still there. We see how to bring him on board. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our main interest is in asking Lango to stay focused on delivering votes for President Yoweri Museveni on the 15th, and to stay focused on delivering votes for all other leaders who we know mean well for Lango. One of them is Dr. Jane Ruth Achengo, and we are going to be very clear on this morning. There are people in this campaign whose main strategy is theatrics. Dance around, make lewd remarks, do crazy things to attract attention to yourself use foul language that you think can excite people. Well, that may work in some cases, but I think we have arrived at a point in time in our movement forward as the people of Lango, where our people now want service delivery that is not only relevant for this generation, but that will impact several generations to come. And that is why, as we sit here today, we want to ask the people of Lango, one, vote for Yoweri Museveni so that we have the voice and the ability to demand for specific things from the government that we want in Lango. There's no more debate about who will win this presidential election. I think that debate is closed. The question is the margins that each sub-region will give to Yoweri Museveni. And that is where the difference comes in. And I think Lango, we must speak loudly and clearly, present our positions boldly in terms of the number of votes or the percentage that we will give. But we must also elect members of parliament who are competent, people who mean well for Lango, but most importantly, who know how to go about extracting what they need to extract from government in order to give service to the people of Lango. I want to thank Dr. Jane Achieng. For the first time, the Minister of Health has been quiet in a very long time. You actually haven't had a major scandal in that ministry. So she and her team, in my view, have done great for the country. Because the Minister of Health used to have scandals every other day. Dr. Achieng is one of the best envoys of Lango, not only to Uganda, but to the rest of the world. I would call her Lango's golden daughter. This is her time. What is regrettable is that because of our kind of politics, she's having to fight her way to get back to parliament. In other places, Dr. Achieng is one of those who would have gone back unopposed. Nobody should even have come here to say, I intend to run. Even declaring that intention alone would have become a problem for that person. But because of the nature of Lango and the way we do our things, which in most cases end up hurting us, we now have this very unnecessary race in Lira City. But I want to thank the people. From what we are hearing, the people have decided that they will vote Dr. Achieng regardless of what is going on. And I want to encourage our people to do that, and particularly encourage UPC members to stick to their position. What our sister, and I say this with love and respect, our sister Honorable Amongi is doing, is not intended for the good of Lango, but for the good of herself as a person. However, she has the skill, the ability to weave herself into the family of Dr. Apollo Milton Obote and come out and present herself as the new face of that family. Now that is where our people must be smart, because she is not the new face of that family. She is the bigger problem inside that family, and also that makes her the bigger problem inside our party, the Uganda People's Congress, and where she has authored confusion in those two spaces, that confusion now spills out into Lango. And that's what we want to tell the people of Lango to run away from. Let's read her for who she is. Right now, we know that on the 31st of last month, a meeting was held at her house. She called UPC chairpersons from the wards in Lira City and other leaders and instructed or ordered them to go and campaign for Yoweri Museveni. That's what we hear. But she will not come out to do that herself. What has happened is that many of the UPC chairpersons have now come to say, look, what is happening? who is instructing us? Is this the position of the party or the position of one person? And what is our interest in all this? Is it therefore true that somebody is using us to make money while taking us for granted and insulting our intelligence? That debate is now going on inside UPC. And I think that debate is healthy. Those questions are important to be asked. You now see that there's rebellion in UPC against the leadership of Honorable Akena, not from anywhere else, but from within his own house. That rebellion is led by our sister, Honorable Amongi. Not because it serves Lango, but because it allows her to posture as somebody also looking for votes for President Museveni so that she can secure her own personal interest and space. And that is what we reject. Because this is not about herself. This is about Lango and the future of the people. I also want to make this statement here that we know she's getting desperate. Because all reports regarding the way people have taken their decisions right now to vote indicate that she will not win this election, whatever happens. And she thinks the president is coming here in the next few days. So this is part of her posturing to draw sympathy, to think that the president, to try and make Yoweri Museveni think that Honorable Amongi is also working for him. And that's a lie. That's intended to mislead not only the people of Lango, but she also thinks she can mislead the president. To be an agent of confusion, to be a driver of divisionism, to be one who seeks to pit one religion against the other, to be one who wants to take the people of Lango for granted. But Lira City is not a Yam South. And at this point in this race, a lot of work has been done to let the people know that she no longer represents Lango. And we intend to keep doing that. So this is our request to the people of Lango. That we stay focused, vote for the path that will secure for us opportunities for government investments that will impact our future forever. When Akibwa Stadium is completed, it will be here for generations to come. It is underway. It's almost getting completed. The investments in the health infrastructure in this city will not go anywhere. Dr. Cheng may not be here tomorrow. But these investments are here forever, for everybody, including NRM and UPC and FDC and anybody who comes to this city. This city is now rapidly becoming cosmopolitan. So all these investments are for our own people and for the people in this country. You will be amazed to know that the people who now come from Kitgum and other places to this referral facility for important surgical procedures that can only be found here. So this hospital is now serving the whole of this region, not only Lango. Somebody from Kitgum might prefer to come here other than going to Gulu, and we know that happens. Anybody who is there for fighting these investments is not only an enemy of the people of this city, it's fighting everybody in Lango and everybody else across this region who needs these services. That's petty. It's so petty that we must reject it and focus on the things that matter to us, whether our party is UPC, FDC, or NRM. Finally, I also want to address an issue that is, again, another confusion. A few days ago, I watched a video where our sister, Honorable Amongi, announced in Ngeta that our brother, Honorable Jim Akena, was leaving the country and would return here on the 14th of January, one day to elections. That date of the 14th would be one day after the date Honorable Jim Akena had claimed he would declare to Lango who he would want them to vote for. I want us to watch this carefully. That would project Honorable Jim McKenna as a liar, one who is not honest, who was running away from his own words and from guiding UPC people on who to vote for. That came from his wife. But we know that up to now, Honorable Kenna has not gone anywhere. I hear he's campaigning in Apache. You now need to ask, what was the motivation for his wife to make that declaration in public that the husband was on his way out of the country and would return on the 14th? We just don't need to watch these things and not ask questions. We also need to watch. Our brother has only attended the campaigns of his wife twice. The day the campaign was launched in Kakoge, and recently when there was a Christmas something cup at Lera Primary School. We need to ask, what is going on? Is somebody fooling us? Do we have a team in place? Or do we have actors? People who are staging a show to mislead us that they're a team when they are actually not a team. I think it's time to ask these questions. I don't want to make statements here that I know are true, but which some people in Lango may not yet be willing to take. I know our people.
Thank you for watching Lira Scoop. We are glad you are here.